Hello. We're going to go over component stats. Not going to go over component set bonuses and whatnot. We're going to focus on, like, this is a HP support auxiliary power. So this guy comes with max HP as the base stat. And then I've got two blue substats, the fire resist and the max HP. I'm going to show you how non-complex they actually are. A lot of people seem to think that you're farming these with this massive list of potential stats to get. Each one can only roll a certain type of stat. So they're really kind of basic. And if you know it, you can go in and farm specifically what you're looking for your builds. Now, again, we're not going to go over all the set bonuses. If you're curious about set bonuses and whatnot, you can come into your access info, click on external components, and then here's all your set pieces. So your Frozen Heart, it's got all that stuff. Bravery. I will cover these pieces a little bit on their primary stats because you're locked in stone. There's even, sorry, not epic. Rare. Rare is purple, not blue. Okay. All right, so for those of you that know me, I'm spreadsheets, whatever, left and right for everything that I do. But this makes it very easy to see how each piece breaks down. So this right here is just your auxiliary powers. Here's just your sensors. Here's just your memory. Here's just your processors. These are the only possible stats that can run or roll on your auxiliary power. So your primary stat is only going to be defense, HP, or shield. And that's the same across the board. So your sensor can also be defense, HP, shield, and that's for all four of them. I have these highlighted in green because you do have a high roll and a low roll. So if you roll max shield on your auxiliary power, that is a shitty roll of max shield compared to everything else. So this guy is going to run a 206, 275, 275, 275. Okay? Defense rolls really poorly on your sensor. So you're going to get a 4683, 4683, 4683, a 2385. And then max HP is shitty on the memory. So depending on what you're kind of build, like I was originally running defense, HP, shield, and then I realized I had a shitty defense and a shitty HP because I think that's the order that I ran them in without realizing there's a high and a low roll. As for substats, your power can only run fire resist, Quipper drop rate, max HP, MP recovery out of combat, down but not out time, and mod drop percentage. Okay, so for me, as my generic pieces that I use on everybody, I kind of have, these are primarily all defensive equipment items. They don't really have any benefit to damage or anything. Sure, you can spec and get some of these that'll give you MP back faster, which essentially is more damage. But outside of that, they're primarily defensive items. So I always roll the resistance. I got fire and max HP on my power. Those are the two that I always look for. On my sensor, I'm always looking for chill resist because I always want the resistances. And I was doing max MP, but now I'm starting to like MP recovery in combat because not always do I have enough blue orbs on the ground. It's up to you to pick, but here's your stats for the sensor. You got HP recovery modifier, consumable drop rate percent, max MP, shield recovery out of combat, character experience gain, chill resistance, MP recovery in combat. If you're asking what the yellow ones mean, those are just my farming. So if you look down here, I've got these also in game that are all gold and legendary, or sorry, ultimate. Equipper drop, mod drop, consumable drop, character XP. So the yellows are just the farming ones. For your memory, you've got your gold drop. You can get a defense. I don't know how to pronounce that. The ESIV size. You got electric resistance, gun proficiency, MP recovery modifier, shield recovery in combat. And for the processor, you've got your toxic resist, shield recovery modifier, equipment drop rate, ESIV time, max shield, and item loot distance. So again, I typically do toxic resistance, electric resistance, chill resistance, fire resist, and then I always do max HP. I'm now playing between MP recovery and combat, max MP, defense always, and then max shield recovery. I don't have a preference. This is kind of a whatever you feel like. So those mods are your generic yellow mods. You come into your access info, not mods, components. These are your set pieces. They all have names. Slayer, Annihilation, Bravery, yada, 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 yada. You come down here to your basic ultimate. You've got a defense, your shield, and your HP, and we already covered that. These are farmable every week, sometimes. Once you're in hard mode, you can go to your map, and then the difficulty level rewards option becomes available in hard mode. Click on this. This stuff rotates every week. We got 3 days left. You scroll to the bottom. These are all reactors until the very bottom. This week, we can farm sensors and auxiliary power. So if I wanted to get a different auxiliary power, I'd come over here, and every quest inside this section is going to have an insanely high drop rate of ultimate auxiliary power units for this week. So you can find a mission that has a shit ton of enemies and a bunch of bunnies running around, if you're lucky, and you'll have inventory full every 2 to 3 runs, and you're just constantly looking for your legendary rolls. So yes, you could go farm set pieces on the Colossus fights, but especially if you're brand new, this is a really quick way to get some really tough defensive components with some decent stats. And it's not like if you're sitting there looking for your auxiliary power and you want toxic resistance and you're farming it for a week, it's because it doesn't exist on there. So that list shows you what can be on each piece, and that way you know what you're farming for. And it really doesn't take that long if it's a busy mission. Now, things get a little trickier with the external compartment or components of the set pieces. These are all set in stone for the primary stat. So you'll notice the Frozen Heart has shield, right? Bravery has shield. Venom, shield. Polar, HP. Okay? You can't get a defensive or a shield version of the power for Polar Knight. If we go back to my spreadsheet, if we're looking at the Hungry Sonic set, which just came out, those are the rolls you're going to get as primary stats. So it's going to be defense, max shield, and HP. So if you're building your character a specific way, but you're looking at a specific set bonus, you might be sacrificing some stuff. So like, I'm not a big fan of Polar Knight. I haven't played around with it, and people might tell me that I'm retarded, but that's just straight up HP, shield, HP. There's no defense. And only one of the pieces, I think it's the memory piece, can roll defense, right? It's the memory? Yeah, defense, can roll defense on it. So you're going to have to make up the balance with your mods. And then on top of that, I have these color-coded. You've got your high and low rolls again. So max HP can roll a 646 on a high roll. Well, the Polar Knights are the low roll. So you've got a low roll, 484, 484, and a 646. And then that's a high roll shield. So I'm playing on Jaber right now, just trying to get as much healing as possible. Because why not? His healing is affected by his max HP. So I am rolling max HP. So there's the highest HP, 646. 646. Crap, I can't do it there. 646. So I'm running the generic power sensor processor with max HPs. I need to get more HP out of here. So then we come over here to the memory. Where's a good max HP? Boom, Annihilation. That's the only option. So then I'm running an Annihilation piece so I can get that max HP again. And then I want to make sure that I'm running a legendary max HP substat on auxiliary power as well. And then HP recovery modifier on the sensor. And then the rest of it's like electric, defense, toxic, and that doesn't matter. So this helps look at it to break down how you actually want to build your character. Instead of just looking for like a 2-piece and then you accidentally just get these two without paying attention, well, you could have a better defense and a better max HP if you know what you're looking for. You might have to farm more. Down here, everything kind of changes when it comes to the rare, aka epic, set pieces. There's 4 different levels of rolls. Really with defense, everything else there's 3 rolls. So red being the shittiest roll that you can get, or that is available out of the whole spectrum. And then green, and then blue right before this is... So the power on your purple components are actually equivalent to your ultimate components. So max shield 275, max shield 275 as a good roll. And then they just have shittier as you go down. So if you like a two set piece bonus of these guys, you'd want to farm the power because it's going to have the same stats as an ultimate, and then hopefully you're picking one that has a decent roll back here. It's not super dire, but you're min-maxing and you're grinding like most of us. What else are we doing? We're trying to get the best, right? So here's the breakdown on how all the components work. And then I'm a nerd and I just map it out. So Freyna's got the Venom set. Here's all the substats that I want. Oh, one last thing. If you're brand new, so I showed you how to farm the generic ones by going to your map and pressing F or whatever it is on console to come to this list to see what your weekly drops are. So this week, power and sensors. If you're looking for the set pieces or you want to see the information on the set pieces, same thing. Go to your access info, go to external components. And if you hover over them, they tell you all the different set bonuses. 2 set pieces, 4 set pieces gives you those bonuses. If you're looking to see how to farm it, you can press F and it tells you where to go get it. Typically, every single one of these ultimate set piece bonus component sets drop from the Colossus fights. You can't farm these in the world. Now the purples, you can farm these in lots of places. Now, remember, if you're doing common Swamp Walker and you're sitting there being like, cool, I want to get this, that's an easy fight, I can go one-shot it, it's not going to be level 100. And to my knowledge, you can't upgrade components from a low level to 100 like you can guns. So that's not going to cut it. You're going to be wanting to farm, if you want this piece, you need to be farming any of the missions and stuff in hard mode or the dungeons. So that's how you find out how to farm and where to farm the pieces that you want. Anyway, hope that helps or clears a lot of it up. I know a lot of people seem to think there's a ton of options. Like, I got to farm this forever. Or they're farming for a substat that doesn't exist on that piece. I am starting to take a lot of my information from my spreadsheets and put them onto my Discord in graphics and whatnot. There's a link down below to get into my Discord. I don't have the component stuff up yet. I'll probably will today or tomorrow in a prettier graphic besides just a... Or maybe I'll just put it up the way it is. I don't know yet. But you could always skim back through the video, pause it, write it down yourself on a piece of paper, your own spreadsheet, or it'll be on Discord soon. It's not an active Discord, it just has information on it, FYI. So I'm not like trying to promote to grow it. That's where I post it, because I don't do Reddit. Anyway, that's it for this one. I'm out. See you in the next one.